Hi guys, welcome back to Transits and Tactics. We are experiencing the themes of Gate 25. It's the gate of the spirit of self. And it carries the theme of retaining your innocence even amidst life inevitable shocks, right? So you can expect a lot of sudden, unexpected events, turns of events. Sometimes they could be maybe good, but sometimes they could be unsettling. So this is the kind of like a whatever life throws at you, whatever experience life throws at you, how are you going to deal with it? And more importantly, how can you ground yourself within so that you can learn and grow through this experience? Because I'm a big believer that nothing is thrown at us that we cannot learn from or overcome. And this is this energy. It's about empowering your individual spirit no matter what challenges you're facing. And you've been in those situations, when something like a huge, overwhelming situation unexpectedly dropped on you. It could be like your favorite client is leaving, most of your income is source is stopping or something. Like this feels like, oh my God, everything is falling apart. But the way, if you ground yourself and you just be with this experience, very quickly you can find certain other ways are opening up. You can find that peace with not being a victim to the drama of what's happening, but actually the strength within your spirit to go through this. And I find that the moment you find that place within, that's when everything lifts and quite quickly solutions come quite quickly. Even with money, I've had these situations where 80%, like you'll have this one big client, especially in my agency days, and that's the client that brings you most of the income, and suddenly they're like, oh yeah, it's very quiet, I have to cut you hours or whatever. And the moment you stop worrying about it, first thing is a panic. How am I going to survive? But you have to stop worrying. And maybe it's because I have a completely open will center as well, which contributes to this being open to receive. I can't afford worrying about money, where they're going to come from. Because the moment you come to that stillness and the strength inside, suddenly new flood of clients, new opportunities, new sources, or some just unexpected money come at you like a tax rebate or something. So things happen. I'm a living proof. I know in my life there's a lot of situations like this. So this is the kind of energy now. And of course, you can also be really facing, there's other things that I personally relate to this gate because this is the transit that I experienced 2 years ago, straight after losing my husband, Les. And it is the time when you're trying to find yourself, you're finding love within, no matter what happened, and loss and unexpected, situations like this can happen. So finding your core is really what this is about. And I remember that that's exactly what the first week of being a widow was for me. It was like, how can I, okay, can't change this. How can I come back and live on? Who am I? What is inside me? These are the kind of themes. They don't have to be this extreme, of course, but everything, anything, any chaos that will be thrown at you, life goes on. Just keep remembering that. That's why the answer is always within. And then we have this wonderful grounding earth energy of gate 46. And this is the gate, the love of the body. And what I remember, we were recording a transit and tactics video for gate 46. And I was looking forward to this. I thought it's going to be something like, love of the body. Maybe I'll go to a spa. Maybe it'll be like the energy of pampering myself. No, I was in pain. It was really horrible transit for me. And now I'm also experiencing the same thing. And I'm thinking, you know what? What this does, it just tells you or asks you, do you honor your physical body? Do you actually listen to the body's needs? And it works in two ways. It works in like physical, like you can be just in bits and you really are neglecting yourself. Or it could be on the sort of intuitive level. Are you listening to your inner body guidance? Are you putting your body where it doesn't want to be, but just because your mind said this is a good idea? Like today I was sharing with Anita, I took quite a long trip to a place that's not long from here, it's not long to walk there, but it felt like such a long trip. My body was in bits when we came there, and then I found out that I shouldn't have been going there anyway. It was a misunderstanding, and I was just exhausted, completely exhausted, because you need to listen. The body. It's funny, I actually, as a splenic person, I do practice listening to my body, and I do that in the shops. And this is very similar to what Gate 46 wants you to do. Where does your body want to go? So I go to a shop, and let's say there's like overwhelming amount of aisles, sometimes, some clothing shops, and I'll just close my eyes and I feel like, where do I want to go? Okay, I want to go right. So I'll go right, because it's so interesting when your body brings you somewhere. And it doesn't mean that, it's not like a black and white that if I turn right, then suddenly I'll get some sort of bargain or something. But I have found some interesting things. And sometimes it just shows you like, hey, this is not the place for you. Let's just, the exit is on the right. Let's go. So this is the kind of very, very interesting energy. And it wants you to be present and to be attuned with your physical. We are very much living in our heads these days, and as humans, I think, with the chatterboxes in our heads. But this is the time when we really need to tune into our bodies. And of course, we need to mention the harmonic gate, because if you have gate 51, which is the gate of shock, right? Then in your chart, human design chart. So now you will be experiencing the whole channel of initiation. And this is a very mystical channel. This is the energy of bringing something new to people, but usually through the kind of, not maybe extreme or maybe extreme, because we have the gate of shock. It's something that shocks people into the new. It's something that potentially has an energy to, through some sort of life-changing experience, bring you to the next shift, bring you to the new, or start anew, start afresh. And and this is, I don't have 51 in my design, but you can kind of sense this energy when I'm with people with gate 51, for example, that there is this intense and unpredictable energy sometimes, but it is here to awaken you and your potential. So it's actually very supportive energy. A lot of people resist chaos and confusion and intense changes, but this is all part of how evolution happens. It's not all roses and smooth transitions. So it's good to embrace this, and I think that this is why we're recording these series as well, just to support you through the times when potentially something like this can happen. Because if you're aware, you can be in control, you can be observing rather than being a victim to these circumstances that are happening and unfolding in front of you. So that's the little summary. Anita, how are you experiencing this
That's true.
transit?
This is really, I think this is really cool energy, and it's super manifesting energy, but it really takes discipline to harness it correctly. We're in the equinox, which just happens this year to be half light, half dark, and it's literally falling right in the middle of the two eclipses. So in this weather, the gate 25 and the gate 46 are off the G center. They're the energy for love and direction. And I keep saying to my clients, I talk to them about their manifesting signals, and most of our manifesting signals are in the body. That gate 46, when it works with the gate 29 into the sacral, if you're a projector, you might feel that kind of full energy in your sacral area, because there's a big clearing in the sacral area right now. We're clearing all that work energy that's driven by frustration and fear and anxiety, and we're bringing it into more calm genius energy. We're literally moving from amygdala back to the prefrontal cortex, where when you're in your genius, you're in 90% of your potential, as
Yeah.
opposed to when you're in your fear and your anxiety, you're activating 10% of your potential. Literally, your body is wired that you're either all caught up and tight, or you release yourself into allowing energy to come in. And that gate 46, that 4629 is the gate of, when you're still, when you can stay out of your head. This is the big teaching. The whole of the planets are teaching us this. If you can just stay out of worst case scenarios for a second, that's when you can hear the guidance that says go left or right, the
Mm.
guidance that does avoid the accident and that does step you into that amazing opportunity, or that you're quiet enough to hear the guidance that really takes you to your next step. But I will say the energy is challenging because there's we're into Aries now. Sun is into Aries. This is what the equinox is. It's a natural breakthrough energy. It's like the seedlings breaking through the soil. It's like really, it's actually 0 degrees Aries, which is the astrological new year. So it is new beginnings, but there's so many planets still in the last degrees of Pisces that it feels draggy. It
Mm.
feels maybe like you're in a void. It feels like you have this sense of urgency that's this close to anger if you just let it, or that you might explode much quicker than you normally do. It's because Aries is coming in and going, well, I want what I want when I want it. And, I'm not compromising, and I'm not going to, I'm not taking any prisoners with me. And the Pisces energy is, oh, floaty, let's just leave it for tomorrow, or let's just watch another season of Survivor, or let's avoid facing this energy. But the truth is, it's energy for action. And with the retrogrades, it's energy for action that's connected to your inner yes. Okay. And um, how do you manage that? I don't know. How are you feeling about it? I'm feeling the urgency today. And with that gate 25 activated, if you have the 51, it is a rattly energy. Sometimes when you're I know I find when I'm in with people who have this energy out of balance, I feel like interrupted all the time. I feel like it's like a bold child flicking a switch, kind of going on, off, on, off, on, off. We'll have a train of discussion and then it disappears literally off the fit. And you're kind of going, what was I just talking about? So, it's really interesting. But you can also have this beautiful energy of shocking surprises. This is what the
True.
break, but it is super manifesting energy. And it's just realizing that when you're feeling that urgency to take action, move, move, and, allow the big energy to pass through you before you make that decision. And, this is going to speed up even more. Next week, we have the eclipse and we have Neptune moving into Aries. So this is where we have the fire to make our dreams come true. And you'll find also you'll start feeling much clearer as the week goes on. First part of the eclipse is usually the destructive bit.
Yeah.
What am I done with? And then the next, you start to move into the creative zone. And this is the midpoint, which is, okay, it's like a car if you ever drove stick shift, balancing the accelerator and the brake and the clutch to move when the timing is right. So it's a fun, challenging energy, but it is potentially fun if you can just keep your feet on the ground for long enough.
I just thought to myself, I've never driven automatic. But the balancing is all I have done all my life. So yes, it's actually such a great analogy. This is such interesting time. I have noticed that in just over the years, even over the last 20 years, March and April is always the most manifestation or the biggest events in my life personally. And I really think that what you're saying, this moving from Pisces into Aries and the new beginnings and big shifts, sometimes big clearances. I know that I was able to break, for example, relationships, professional and personal, that did not serve me. And it always happens for some weird reason in this period for me. So it's a very potent energy, but I think that when you're aware of this, I know that I haven't had a big drama, of course, apart from, losing less, and that wasn't outside my control, but say inside in my control, what I control, relationships with people and other things. I know that it hasn't happened for years because of the awareness, because you know how to deal with the eclipses, because you know to do your work before they start, because otherwise they'll come in and they'll rip everything out of your life, right? If you're holding on to something that doesn't serve you, they will make that decision for you. And I am now kind of smart because I've burned so many times and trying to predict, trying to see, okay, be present. Let's look at everything for what it is, what serves, what doesn't serve, what's what needs to go, because you have to have, if you want something beautiful and new in your life, if you're sick and tired of what you have, stop grabbing onto it. You have to clear space, because there's nowhere, I just recently got obsessed with houseplants. I think I've turned a certain age in my life because I never really cared before. And now this thing is like, okay, well, if I want to buy more plants, I have to clear space. And that's just how it is in life, right? Otherwise, we just get a lot of things and then we hold on to them. So guys, this is a wonderful energy. We will keep you updated next week with the next transit, and we will hope to hear from you. It's always great to hear from you, whether you reply to one of our emails or leave a comment on the video. Let us know how you're experiencing this transit, whether you're resonating with one of our experiences as well. It's always great to know that we're not alone in this mess, and we will survive and get through it, right? So that's why we're here. Okay, guys, we will see you in the next episode of Transits and Tactics. Bye.